Begin. Good evening, everyone. We're just on time. What a pleasure for me to be here with you recording on this Thursday, March 26th of 2026. For me, it is an honor and a pleasure to be able to be here with you. I'm Juan Carlos Garduño, and I am truly excited to be part of this amazing movement. What can I say? What can I say? This movement, which has changed my life completely. I am dedicated solely to human transformation for so many years, and for the first time, there's a technology that changed my life. For the first time, a technology had a huge impact on me. It had never happened to me before. I was always commercializing products or services or technology that impacted other people's lives, and that excited me, of course, and it was a beautiful life purpose. But now it is my turn. Now it's my turn for this technology to have the ability to transform my life, my health, my emotional situation. It's amazing. And of course, my finances, which is something that makes me feel very grateful and happy. So, good evening, everyone. Please, if you could be so kind as to quickly include in the chat where you're connecting from. Remember that we turn technology warm. Okay, what does that mean? When you say hi, hey, how are you? I'm Hani Beniche. I'm connecting from this or that place. We are human beings, and even if we are online with this training, and even though it's a training that is not for anyone new, if there's someone new, welcome. This is a very nice way to make sure that we're a community and we become warmer or colder, whatever we do with these small details. And remember that we always have to imagine these meetings as if we were all reaching a room where there's going to be a training, a presentation, a show, something which is part of the system. And since we're all one community, each time that we see each other, we greet each other. Hey, Marjorie, how are you doing? Hey, Laura, how are you doing? Janet, Lisel, Tati, Laura from Puebla, where are you? Galia Ramirez. It is very important for everyone to understand a few things that we're going to talk about today in this training. But what I say to everyone is let's get out of that idea that we're selling patches, okay? We are building communities. And to be able to build communities, we have to build relationships. And to build relationships, it would be amazing if we could all remember the principle that our moms and our grandmothers taught us. Do you know which one it is? Hello, good morning, good day, how are you? Good evening, how are you? Hi, good night. That little thing that I'm talking about that can sound so simple has made me the top enroller in many companies because I always greet everyone. Hey, how are you? Good evening. I smile, and people are looking at me as if I'm crazy, and some don't even answer. Oh, hi, you're new here? Yes, I'm new. Where are you from? What are you spending your time on? What do you do? And that's when the conversation comes, and I start talking about what I do. And from there, I have a conversation. Well, I say that I help people to solve some of their most important problems that they are facing or that we are facing as human beings in the 21st century. But it all starts from the kindness of smiling, of greeting. If we understand this, we're in the correct business. Whoever doesn't understand it is in the wrong business because we're in the business of opening up conversations, of connecting people. And today we're going to see everyone speaking English. I'm sending you a strong hug. I'm happy that there's interpretation for our English speakers. Thank you, Evelyn, Lola, and let us begin so we have enough time. If you think you can confirm if you can see my screen, please. Yes. Yes, perfectly. Okay, amazing. So let's start with today's topic, which is increase your average ticket. What does this mean? We have to totally understand what this truly means. We can see this in different areas. It could be that you might learn how to generate more money with the customers that you already have. And this is for people who are already part of our community. Nevertheless, this training is all who are not part of our community. And for me, It's very important for you to understand this concept so you can have this level of conversation with the people who we are going to mention right now during this training. How to duplicate or to triplicate or even more your income with what you are already currently doing. So let's start by showing you a different vision of what we do so you can understand how to talk to people with different professions. One of the greatest issues that human beings face is our systems of belief. What they told us. They told us that you can only dedicate yourself to what you studied. They told us that you could only find a job in what you have a degree that supports you. They told us that a dentist always must be a dentist, that an attorney should always be an attorney. Can somebody help me closing the mics, please? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So they told us all this, and this is one of the greatest mistakes and totally limiting beliefs that most of human beings in the world have, because it's not only people from your country. Thanks to this profession, I've traveled all around the world, and this issue with the systems of belief is something that is in the whole world, practically. The accountant is always an accountant. Listen to me. Entrepreneurs, my friends, always see on opportunities. We're always looking to see what problems we can solve or what needs we can satisfy. Where the traditional world of a problem, entrepreneurs see an opportunity. So remember this that I'm going to tell you, okay? The reality in the day to day, the only reality is that everyone, and I'm not only talking about the ones who are our community, everyone in the normal world are out there, the ones that you live with, the ones you studied with, your cousins, your siblings, your neighbors, all human beings, or most of the human beings in the day to day, interact with people every day. And some people with some professions or some ways of earning money normally give out services or sell things or give service to people where they have to be for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 1 hour with those customers. And when this happens, my dear friends, normally the customers, the human being by nature, likes to talk about everything. Human beings by nature are curious. They want to know what's going on. That's how we are. We love to know about everything that's going on. We love to talk about how I feel, how I see myself, how what happened, what problem I have. We are a species that communicates. So this is very important because this that you are seeing there, our business is the business of data. And let me explain this. People say to you, they talk to you normally about their problems physically, emotionally, and financially, and that's data. Data is the most valuable thing we have in the world right now. The companies pay very high amounts of money to obtain data from people. And data currently is not only who you are, or what's your name, or what's your email. Currently, the famous algorithms that we hear everywhere, this technology that exists today, where your phone is always listening to you, where you are talking about one subject and then you open up your phone and that subject that you were talking about, your phone is full of propaganda and full of ads. It's because they're collecting all your data. Everything that you say and everything that you speak is very valuable for the companies who understand it, for the companies who know that they need to know a lot about you. It's absolutely valuable because if I know about you, if I know what hurts, if I know what you're missing, if I know what you need, then most I can offer you a solution. Then I can give you exactly your objective. I can give you exactly what you need. But I need to know exactly what you have, what hurts. And for that is that people normally people go out and tell you everything about their lives without you asking anything. Now, what do most of the people do? with this
nada.
data, the people who are
La
out there?
mayor parte de esta
Nothing.
información que vale
Most of
millones de
this
dólares queda
information that
absoluta y
was
totalmente
worth millions of
desperdiciada en
dollars is
pláticas
totally wasted
comunes y
on
corrientes de todos los
conversations,
días.
common,
Y
ordinary,
con esa
everyday
data, el
conversations. And with
98%
that
de las personas que están allá
conversation,
afuera no hacen nada. ¿Qué
98%
es
of
lo
the
que tenemos
people
que hacer?
out there
Cambiar nuestra
don't do
manera de
anything. What
pensar.
do we have to do? We have to
Conviértete
change
en
our way
alguien
of
que
thinking.
resuelve. No
Become
te tienes
somebody
que
who
convertir en un vendedor de
solves.
parches,
You
en
don't
un
have to
vendedor de
become a patch
multinivel.
seller
No, no,
or a
no, no es
multi-level
así.
seller. No, no,
Es
no. It's not
convertirte
like
en
that.
alguien que tiene la
You have to
capacidad de
become somebody
resolver.
who has
Por
the
eso la gente
ability
te
to
busca,
solve.
porque
That's why
eres alguien con
people
la
look for
capacidad de
you
resolver,
because you're
porque eres
someone
alguien
that
que se
has the
dedica para
ability to
resolver
solve
problemas
because
o
you're someone
satisfacer
that
necesidades.
solves
Lo normal,
problems
queridos
and
amigos,
satisfies needs. The normal thing, my friends,
es tú recomiendas a alguien y
is
se
that
lo recomiendas a alguien,
you
solo
recommend
escuchas cuando
somebody,
podrías participar en la
you
solución
recommend somebody
y
and you
te dan
only
buenos
listen when
resultados.
you can
¿Qué quiere decir
participate
esto?
with the
Cuando
solution
un estilista, cuando un
and keep
dentista
the result. What
escucha
does
todos
that
los
mean? When
problemas
a
extras que
dentist,
tienes,
when a
te
doctor
escucha
hears all
y
the extra
normalmente
problems
te
that you have,
recomienda con alguien
they
más.
listen to
Te
you
dice,
and they
claro, yo
normally
conozco a
recommend
alguien
you
que
with
vende
someone
algo
else.
que
They
vende
say,
algo que
"Oh,
te
I
puede
know
solucionar un
someone who
problema.
sells
Yo conozco
something
un
that can
especialista
solve
que te
your
puede
problem.
ayudar con este
I
problema.
know a
Yo
specialist that can
conozco
help
un
you with this
terapeuta que te puede
problem.
ayudar con este
I know a
problema.
therapist that can
Claro,
help you with this other
recomiendas a alguien
problem."
más
Of
y
course,
entonces
you
ese
recommend
dinero
someone else,
que se va a cobrar
and
y se va
that
a
money
generar
that
por
is going
resolver
to
ese
be
problema,
charged
lo estás
and generated
trasladando a
for
alguien
solving
más
that problem,
cuando ese
you're
dinero
giving it to
podría
someone
ser
else
tuyo.
when that money
Si
could be
entiendes lo que
yours.
significa elevar el
You,
ticket
if you
promedio.
know what it
En
means to
esta nueva
elevate
economía, queridos
the
amigos,
average
no
ticket. In
basta
this
con
new
una sola
economy, my
fuente de ingresos.
friends,
Eso ya lo
it's not
sabemos.
enough to just
Estamos
have one
trillados.
source
Es lo
of
que te
income.
estaba
We
diciendo.
already know that. We've
Ahora, sin
always heard
importar
that.
quién seas,
Now,
¿a
regardless
qué te
of who you
dediques?
are or
Siempre
what you
puedes
dedicate yourself
ofrecer
to doing,
soluciones
you can
adicionales.
always
¿Eres
offer
contador?
additional
No
solutions. If you're an
necesariamente eso es lo que
accountant,
puedes hacer.
not
Puedes hacer
necessarily is
un
that the only
sinfín de
thing you
cosas
can
más,
do.
pero tienes que
You
abrir tu
can do a
mentalidad.
lot of other
Tienes que
things, but
darte
you need
cuenta que
to
eres
open
capaz de
your
ofrecer un
mindset.
sinfín de
You
soluciones
need to
siempre y
offer
cuando
a
encuentres
lot of solutions
vehículos,
as long as you
productos,
find the
servicios,
vehicles, the
tecnologías
products,
que
the
tengan la
services,
capacidad de
the
resolver
technologists
muchos más
who have
problemas.
the
Todo el
ability
mundo
to
necesita
solve
ganar más
a
dinero,
lot
todo
of
el mundo quiere ganar
problems.
más dinero,
Everybody
todo
needs
el
to earn
mundo quiere una
more
mejor
money.
calidad de
Everybody
vida.
wants to
Por
earn more
tanto,
money.
la
Everybody
manera
wants a
de
better
obtener
quality
esto
of life.
es
The way
volviéndote
to
alguien que
obtain
ofrece
this is
soluciones a los
becoming somebody
problemas
who
que tienen las
offers
personas,
solutions
de
to
tal
the
manera que
problems
cuando
that
tienes
people
una
have.
tecnología como la
That way,
nuestra
when you have a
y nos
technology
puedes
like
ayudar a
ours,
resolver o
where you
mejorar
can help to
los
solve
problemas
or
más importantes que
improve
tienen los
the
seres
most
humanos, así
important
incluido,
issues that
incluido
human
la
beings
falta de
have
dinero,
in
estás del otro
21st
lado.
century,
Eso se llama,
including
queridos
lack of
amigos,
money, you're
aumentar
on
el
the
ticket
other side.
promedio y
That,
todos
my
debemos y
dear
podemos
friends, is
hacerlo.
called
Ahora
increasing your
bien,
average ticket,
problemas
and it's something that we
actuales,
can all do.
le estoy poniendo aquí un
Now,
ejemplo muy pequeño.
current
Falta
problems,
de
and I'm giving
energía,
you a small
dolores
example: lack
crónicos,
of energy,
problemas
chronic pain,
hormonales, insomnio,
hormonal
estrés,
issues, insomnia,
inflamación,
stress,
obesidad.
inflammation,
Y podemos
obesity,
contar y
and we
contar
can
y contar
count
y los
and
podemos ir
count
con esta
and
lista
count, and we can go on
interminable,
with this
interminable.
list,
El
which
problema
never
que
ends.
todo el
And
mundo
the
tiene es
problem
la
that
falta de
everybody
dinero. A
has
la gente
is
no le
lack of money.
alcanza con una
People
sola
are
fuente de
not being
ingresos. A
able
la
to
gente
pay
no
with
le
only one
alcanza
source of income.
con un solo
People are
trabajo.
not being able to
Los
pay
trabajos
with one
tradicionales
only job.
normalmente
Traditional
son
jobs
pesados, son mal
normally are
pagados,
a
se
lot of
centran en cosas
hours.
que no
They're
les
not well
gusta hacer, que no
paid.
les emocionan,
People
que
do
no
things
son su
that they don't
propósito
like,
de
that they're not
vida.
excited to
Vamos a
do,
poner
that
un
are not their
ejemplo.
life purpose. Let's
Un
give you an example.
estilista, y cuando digo un estilista, quiero que ustedes se imaginen a un
Let's talk about a
terapeuta, a
stylist.
un profesor de yoga,
And when
a
I
un
talk about a stylist, I'm
dentista,
talking about a
a Juan
therapist, a
Es
yoga
más, puede
teacher,
ser
a
cualquier
dentist,
doctor.
and it could be
Fíjense
any
esto.
doctor.
Pudiera ser, por ejemplo,
Look
un
at this.
endocrinólogo o una
It could
persona
be
de
like
estas que
an
solamente te ven problemas del
endocrinologist or
estómago.
one
No,
of
no,
these
no se llama
people
así.
who have one of these
O
doctors who
un
look at
podólogo, o
stomach
un
problems. I don't remember the
ginecólogo,
names, or a neurologist or a
o un
gynecologist
pediatra.
or
Da
a
exactamente
pediatrician.
igual. Puede ser
It
estilista, puede
doesn't
ser
matter at all.
manicurista,
It could be a
puede poner
stylist, it
uñas,
could be a
puede ser
manicurist, somebody that puts
quiropráctico,
on
puede ser un
nails, a
anestesiólogo, puede
chiropractor,
ser alguien que se
anesthesiologist.
dedica que
It could be
administra un
someone
spa.
who
O sea,
works
en el
managing a
caso que
spa.
estamos hablando de
The case
profesiones
that we're talking
en
about
donde
is professions
normalmente tú tienes
in
una
which
conversación
normally
con
you
los
have a
clientes.
conversation with
Para todas
clients.
esas personas
For
que
all
normalmente
those
atienden
people
a 3,
who
4, 5, 10
normally
clientes por día
are
y a veces mucho
seeing
más,
3, 4,
si
5, 10
tú no
clients a day
ofreces
and
soluciones
times even more. If you don't offer additional solutions, hear this. You're leaving a lot of money there for other families when that money could be for your family. Have that perfectly clear. It doesn't currently matter what you dedicate yourself to. It doesn't matter, and this is a mindset problem. This is a limiting belief that dentists have, which is terrible. No, well, I'm just a dentist. dentist, how will I offer something to clean the kidney? How will I offer something to regulate blood sugar? How can I offer something for more energy? How can I offer something to lose weight? You're going to see, they're going to think that I'm not serious. People are going to say, what kind of a dentist am I? A dentist who is totally participating in the new economy of the world where we are all multitask, we are all multifunctional. We all have the ability to solve multiple problems, and that's why we also have multiple sources of income because you're not just a stylist anymore. You're not just a dentist anymore. You're somebody who understood that the world changed forever, that the world economy changed forever, and you're adapting to it. So, with this way of thinking, you multiply your income, investing the same amount of time that you already spend with your current customers. This is something that explodes my head each time I tell you. I have very beloved friends who are stylists, one of them, Margarita, who is probably connected here. To all the stylists and all the dentists and all the people who spend time with someone who is giving them a service, you become their psychologist. You become Dr. Hart. You hear everything that is going on with your client. You know what hurts, if they got their divorced, if they were cheated on, if this happened to the child, if the child has autism, if the husband has diabetes or has a problem in the gallbladder or in their liver, how the parents are doing, you know about everything of your customer's life. And that is collecting data that costs millions of dollars, and 98, 99% of people in the world leave that data and literally just throw it down the drain. All that data with the worth of millions of dollars, the way that you can get paid those thousands of millions of dollars is when you transform that data in opportunity. How are you going to transform that data in opportunity? Becoming a person who is not only dedicated to one thing, somebody who understands that increasing your average ticket means offering a greater service. Oh, only a dentist, I'm only a stylist, I'm only a chiropractor. But now I have an online platform with a technology that has the ability to improve all these extra issues. Before, I would send people with this person, with that person, with this specialist, with that specialist. And now I have a technology that I can myself help to improve. That is crazy. You have an opportunity, you have an online store like Amazon, a wellness Amazon, a health Amazon, a truly health Amazon, a product with high demand. You have an online store to sell in the whole planet. You don't even have to be filled with product. Of course, I would recommend to be filled with product because the distributors, the networks, or any entrepreneur who has a product will always be able to place a product faster. Because every day we say that we have the best opportunity in the world, the best technology in the world. And what happens when you're talking about an amazing technology? When you have a testimonial, when you talk about your own testimonial, and then people say, wow, that sounds amazing. How do I do to get that? And if you don't have product with you, boom, you are allowing a potential client to go. So it's very important for you to always have product with you, even if it's to share with the most common situations. Oh, I'm only a dentist, I'm not a general physician, or I'm not a specialist in diabetes, or I'm not a specialist in the spine, or I'm not a specialist in pain or in inflammation. I'm just a dentist, or I'm just a chiropractor, or I'm just an acupuncturist, or I just put nails, or I just cut hair. No, there are some people who say, and what are they going to say about me? I'm going to lose seriousness. This is a limiting belief that we have to take out of everybody's head. Why are you going to look less serious if you already investigated that this technology has a lot of patents, a lot of clinical studies, that we have millions of people with results that nobody in the world can explain? Why are you afraid? Why
¿qué
do
van a
you
decir de
feel?
mí? ¿Qué van a decir de mi
What are they going to
profesión?
say
¿Me
about
van a
me? What are they
considerar
going to
poco
say about
serio?
my
Yo te
profession?
voy
Are
a
they
decir
going
una
to
cosa.
consider that I'm not serious?
A
Let
mí
me tell you something.
me hizo conocer esta tecnología una
This
persona que me encontró
technology
en
made
Starbucks
me
y le debo
know
la
meet a
vida.
person in
Yo le
Starbucks.
prometí a esa persona que
That
le
person
iba a poner
was the
una
one
veladora
who
en mi
showed me
casa
about
durante
that
el mes.
technology, and I
Yo
owe
puse una
this
veladora con su
person
nombre
my
durante
life. I
meses,
told them I would put
solo de
a
agradecimiento a que ella me hizo conocer esta tecnología que me
candle
quitó
for
un dolor
them
terrible que
during
nadie ni
months
ningún doctor me
because
puede
this person,
especializar,
thanks to
ni
her,
ningún hospital ni
a
médico
pain
de
went
aquí de
away
Estados
that
Unidos
had
me puede
never
dar.
gone away, that no
Entonces,
doctor in
como
the
por qué a
States
ti
or
te
in
da
Mexico, no
pena
specialist
decir
had helped me
o
with.
pensar qué van a decir de ti si me
So why are
recibes?
you
Yo no
embarrassed
estudié
to
eso,
think
les tengo una noticia.
about
En esta nueva
that,
economía que
about
ellos salieron,
sharing
la
this?
gran
Look, in
mayoría de
this
las
new
personas que se
economy,
están
my
poniendo las
friends,
pilas,
most
que
of the
están viviendo
people who are
mejor, que están
living
aprovechando
better,
lo que la
who are
tecnología tiene
improving
para
their life,
nosotros,
who are
no
taking
estudiamos a
advantage of
lo
what
que
the
nos
technology
dedicamos.
has for us. We don't
Yo
study
estudié
what
dos
we
carreras
dedicate, what
profesionales y
we don't
nunca
work
me
in what we
dedicaba a nada de lo que
studied.
estudié porque
I
estaba
studied 2 degrees and I
absolutamente
never worked in
obsoleto,
anything because it was completely
porque no sirve de
obsolete.
nada lo que yo estudié en mis dos carreras, de
Because
nada sirve hoy en día.
nothing of what I studied in
Entonces,
my
la gente
degrees
también piensa
was
que
something that
si
I
no
could
les
actually use.
funciona,
And people
si no les
always
funciona,
think, what
pues
if
ellos
it
tienen
doesn't work
problema.
for them? You know
Tenemos
what?
una
If it
garantía de
doesn't work
satisfacción y
for
la
them, there's
compañía nos
no
regresa el
problem.
dinero.
We have a
¿Cuál es tu
satisfaction guarantee
problema?
and the
¿Cuál
company
es
gives you
tu
your money
miedo?
back.
¿Cuál es tu angustia?
What is
¿Por
the
qué te
fear?
tiemblan las
What is the
piernas?
stress, the
Y si
anguish?
quedo
Why do
mal,
your
¿por qué
legs
vas a quedar mal?
tremble?
Seguramente has
And
recomendado
what
una
if I look
película,
bad? Why would you
amigos
look
o
bad? You probably
familiares o algún
recommended a movie
restaurante.
to family
Y si tu
members, to
amigo va,
friends,
ve
or a
la película y
restaurant.
te dice, oye,
What
la
if your
película
friend
estuvo
sees a movie
horrible,
and says it was
pero tú me
horrible?
dijiste que estaba buenísima.
Well,
Ah,
you said
bueno,
it
pues
would
a mí
be
sí me
great. Yeah,
encantó,
well,
pero
I
no te
liked
gustó.
it. If you
Pues
didn't
no,
like it, well,
si
that's
no
your
les
problem.
funciona,
If
pues
it
no hay
doesn't
manera de
work,
quedar mal.
there is no
Puede ser
way
que a alguien no
that
le guste
you
esto o
can
aquello, pero
look
no
bad.
existe una manera de
Maybe
quedar
one can
mal.
have an opinion, but that
Upselling.
doesn't mean you're going to
Upselling
look
es
back.
aumentar el
Upselling,
ticket promedio,
upselling is
aumentar el valor por
increasing the
cliente con la
average
misma
ticket,
base de clientes que
increasing the
arriba que
value with
que
the
vendes o
same
ganas. Y
client
estamos aquí
base. And
hablando de
we're going
dos
to talk
cosas.
about this too
Una
because it's
es
very
la
important.
mentalidad que deben de
Here
tener
we're
todas las
talking
personas que
about
tienen
two
diferentes
things. One is a
profesiones
mindset that
y
people with
tener
different
una
professions must
fuente
have,
alterna de ingresos
and
como
having an
una
alternate
plataforma tipo
income
Amazon en donde tú que me
resource,
estás
a
escuchando, que estás
platform like
conmigo, eres
Amazon, where
portador
you who
de
are
una
listening to
tecnología
me
que
in any
tiene la
part of the
capacidad
world,
de resolverlo,
has a
repararlo o
technology
mejorarlo
with the ability
todo,
of solving,
todo,
repairing, or improving
todo, lo
everything.
escuchaste bien.
Everything,
Y tú tienes una
everything. You
plataforma
heard well.
y no te
And you
cuesta
have that
nada
platform,
tenerla.
and it
Y con
doesn't
esa
cost you
plataforma puedes
one
operar en
cent
el
to
mundo
have it. And with
entero.
that platform,
Entonces,
you can
no
operate
importa
all
quién
over the
seas, no
world.
importa qué te
So
dediques.
it doesn't matter who you
El
are.
upselling
It
es
doesn't matter
aumentar el
what you do.
valor por cliente con la misma
Upselling is
base de
increasing
clientes.
the
Ahora te voy a
value per
explicar eso.
client with the same
La única
customer
verdad,
base.
queridos amigos,
Now
es que
let's
no
explain
necesitas
this.
ningún tipo de
The only
estudio.
truth, my friend, is that you don't
Solamente
need
con
any kind of
usar tu celular que
studies,
ya usas
just
todos los
knowing how to
días.
use your cell
El
phone, which you use
99%
every
de las
day.
personas que yo conozco allá afuera
99% of the people
se la
who I
pasan
know
de
out there
8 a 10
are
horas diarias en su
for
celular
8 to 10
y no
hours
usan tu
on their
cerebro.
phone,
No ganan
and they
dinero
don't
de eso.
take advantage of it.
Imagínate lo
They
que
don't
es.
earn money from
Ahora,
that.
tienes que tener tu
Imagine how
testimonio y
crazy.
compartir con los demás.
Now, you
Así
have
de
to have your
simple, nada
testimonial
más.
and you have to
El
share with
sistema es
others.
duplicable,
That's
no
simple,
tienes que
nothing
hablar
else.
con nadie,
The
tenemos
system
videos que
is
explican todo,
duplicatable.
tenemos
You don't
audios y
have to talk to
testimonios
anyone. We have
muy
videos that
poderosos y
explain
no
everything.
convences,
We
no hay
have
que
very
convencer. Nuestro
powerful videos
verdadero
and audios.
trabajo es
You don't
conectar
have to
a las
convince.
personas que
Our
tienen
true job
problemas
is to connect
con la
people who
tecnología que
have
puede
problems with the
mejorar ese
technology,
problema.
which
Y
can
créeme que no estoy
improve that
diciendo,
problem.
no
And
estoy hablando de
listen, I'm not
curar,
saying
nunca podemos decir
curing. We
curar,
can
nunca
never
podemos
say that we
prometer
cure.
ni
We can never
garantizar
promise
resultados.
or
¿Qué sí te
guarantee
puedo
results.
garantizar?
What
Te
can I
puedo garantizar
guarantee?
que si no tienes
I can
resultados,
guarantee
hay
that if
una
you don't have
garantía
results,
de
there's a
30 o
guarantee
90 días
in 30
dependiendo
or 90
cómo hayas
days, depending
comprado
on
tu
how you
tecnología.
purchased your
Y eso
technology.
te lo puedo garantizar.
And this is something that
Y
can
ante
be
una garantía de
guaranteed.
ese tamaño,
And
ya no hay ninguna
with the
objeción. O
guarantee
sea,
that
lo
size,
usas,
there is
si
no
no te
objections.
funciona, si la
You
tecnología
use it.
no es lo que
If it
nosotros
doesn't work,
pensamos,
if the technology
sencillamente
is
puedes
not what
pedir tu
we
dinero de
said, you
regreso,
can simply
vas
ask for
100%
your
asegurada
money
con total
back. You're
garantía.
100%
Impacto,
guaranteed and safe.
duplicas tus ingresos en el
Impact, you
corto,
can
mediano
duplicate
o
and
largo plazo.
triplicate
Y
your
sobre
income
todo,
in the short
tienes
and
esa
medium and
herramienta
long
para
term.
llevar luz,
And
esperanza y
especially, you have a tool to bring light and hope everywhere in the world. You help your community, you help your group of friends, you help your family, your neighbors, with an opportunity for everyone in the world to get paid weekly in dollars. For Latin countries, that is a true dream. We are in a digital economy, my friends. The world is totally digital. People wouldn't believe it, but today it's 100% digital. And companies who don't understand that, and companies who don't have the ability to transform their offer into digital are disappearing. The same thing happens with humans who don't understand this process. Humans who don't understand that we're in a 100% digital economy and don't have digital products or technologies to offer online, we're simply going to disappear from the economy. Literally, like dinosaurs, we will be extinct. So we have to have this new mindset and we have to teach people, regardless of them being people in your team or family members or friends, that in this new mindset, in this new economy, selling, my friends, is helping others to solve problems or to satisfy their needs. That is selling, and sometimes people don't understand. It's helping others. Sometimes people say, I don't like to sell. Oh, but do you like to help? Yes, I like to help. Okay, when we sell, we're not selling products, we're selling solutions. We are selling results. And that is that makes an enormous difference. We're not selling products. Here it is on my next slide. We're selling results, we're selling transformation. Now, what is a perfect moment for an upsell? And we have to understand that an upsell is when you increase your average ticket with the customers that you already have. What does this mean? We have to bring customers to our business. Okay, now that's easy. Why? Because the product is very disruptive, because nobody knows it, because it's effective, because it's fast, because it's attractive, because it complies with much more than what we say it's going to comply with, and the price is accessible practically for all pockets. So having customers is really easy. And then with a guarantee of 30 to 90 day satisfaction, that's totally crazy. I had never found a technology or somebody that would give a 90-day technology. If normal companies would give a 90-day technology, they would be bankrupt. We're not because our technology truly works. So when is a moment to do upsell and what is an upsell? To reach to your clients and see that that same client is increasing his or her experience. How will they increase their experience? How will they make the results stronger? When the person says that they're already seeing results, which is something that they say to us all the time, anyone who tries our technology immediately calls you to say, wow, what did you give me? I had tried everything and this truly works. Perfect. That is a perfect moment for an upsell to increase the average ticket for that person to be able to become a distributor. If you're having results and you see that this works, I recommend for you to purchase a pack and to purchase the greatest pack that you can because the more product you have, the more benefit you're going to have and the greater your opportunity is going to be. So I always recommend to go after the biggest pack. And why do I recommend the greatest pack? Because I always recommend people to think like they normally don't think. People arrive to a business like ours and say, what is the smallest pack I can purchase? What is the least that I have to do? What is the least that I have to do to be able to win? And that is a mindset that has everyone earning the least. You have to be a person that says, what is the maximum that I can purchase? What is a maximum that I can earn? What is a maximum that I can make every week for my family? When you start to change the questions, you're going to have much better results. So let's stop thinking small. Let's stop treating ourselves like someone that is worth the smallest pack. Because when you ask what is the smallest pack, it is somebody that is treating him or herself with the least. And that is a mindset that we have to eradicate in ourselves and in the people who surround us. Now, how are you going to increase or how are you going to offer an upsell? One of the ways, no doubt, is offering a much greater kit or pack than what they had purchased. But it doesn't always have to be the greatest one. It could also be something gradual. For example, a second patch, a different technology. You're consuming X39, perfect. Now, why don't you combine it with Eon? Why don't you combine it with glutathione? Why don't you combine it with SP6? That means increasing the average ticket with the customers that you already have because the customer that you already have is happy. They saw results. They realize that the phototherapy is amazing. So at that moment, once we see results, once a person is happy, it's the best moment to offer the next sleeve, the next technology. There is a golden rule. Never say, let me recommend this. It's better for you to say, let me explain what's happening in your body. You look much more professional, much more in control, etc., etc. With this technology, my dear friends, each customer is a future brand partner. Listen to this. In 25 years selling products all over the world, I had never seen a technology that has the ability to transform acceptics into believers. I had never seen that, especially so fast, a technology that turns acceptics into believers at this expedited speed, which means creating distributors out of our clients, creating distributors out of our brand and making them brand partners. Upselling is not a product or a greater pack. Upselling is when people already felt the power of this device, they realized that this could be a source of income. Imagine talking about a testimonial and the greatest upsell, elevating the average ticket in the most powerful way is when you have a conversation with your customers and you help them see things that they couldn't see themselves. You help them believe in yourself, in themselves. You help them explain and understand that that life testimonial that they're having with the product can be transformed into an alternate source of income that could be invaluable. But it's conversations that you must have with your customers, that you have to have with them. So it's helping them to understand that inside them there is a leader. Inside them there is a leader that the family is waiting for. There is a superhero that the family is waiting for, that the children are waiting for, that your husband, your wife, your parents are waiting for, that you have to believe because here we are all superheroes because we have a tool that helps to solve everything. Not even in the movie or the craziest TV series that I've seen had somebody had a technology or a tool that has the ability to repair everything at this speed. We truly have to understand things as they are. So the most powerful thing is not about product. It's to help that person understand that there's a leader inside them, that there is that person that has the impact to make a change in millions of people's of lives. But many times we don't know, we don't realize, or we don't believe it because of a million reasons. But all the human beings in the world have the ability to make an impact in the life of other people, and that is where we have the greatest upsell to help see things that you didn't see in yourself and you hadn't seen in yourself before you do. The cost of doing this is enormous. If people would know what they lose by not doing something like this, they would be amazed. And there's something very important here. Everything that you don't solve is something that someone else is going to solve. Okay? Have that clear. So if you're this dentist, if you're this massagist, if you're this therapist, if you're this architect, if you are this attorney, all the time you are interacting with these people and you know that they have this or they have that. So why not have an online store where you can sell the solutions for the people that practically everyone has? And if the person in front of you doesn't have it, his daughter or his spouse or his partners or his grandparents will have it. Everybody in their families know people that have a health challenge, and you can be the person who solves it because if not, someone else is going to solve it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in front of the greatest opportunity in our lives, in front of the greatest transfer of richness. Money is changing hands. It's going to the hands of the people who have understand that building communities is the present and the future of life. That opening conversations can help you collect data. And once you have data, then you can offer solutions. Because if you don't have that data, then every day you're going to find people who are full of problems, but people don't have a sign on their chest talking about their problems. People don't have a sign in their chest saying, I have depression, I have anxiety, I have diabetes, I have cancer. People don't do that. That's why it's important for people to understand that when you interact with the clients that you would already interact before coming here, it's simply
o
a
necesidades que
way
esta
to get
persona
to
tiene
know
y
about
puedes
all the
ofrecer
problems and needs
soluciones.
that this person has,
No
and you can
importa la edad
offer
que tengas,
solutions.
no
It doesn't
importa
matter the
quién
age that you
seas,
have, it
no
doesn't matter
importa
who
nada
you
de tu
are,
pasado, no importa
it
tu
doesn't
color de
matter
piel, no
anything from
importa
your
tu sistema
past,
de creencias,
from your
no
skin,
importa lo que te hayan hecho
your
creer tus
system of
padres, tus
beliefs,
abuelos, tu pareja, la
whatever
sociedad, el mundo,
your
nada de
parents,
esto
your
importa.
grandma, your
Cualquiera de
society
ustedes
has
que me
made
está
you believe.
escuchando en
It
cualquier parte
doesn't
del
matter.
mundo tiene la
Anybody
capacidad
here who is listening
de
in any part of the
ayudarte a
world
transformar
has the
otras vidas,
ability to
empezando
help
por
to
la tuya
transform
misma.
other lives,
Y
starting
queridos
with yours.
amigos,
My dear
a mí me gusta
friends,
siempre terminar las presentaciones diciendo,
I always like
si
to
no eres
finish
tú,
my presentation
entonces
saying that
¿quién?
if it's not you,
¿Quién
then
lo va a
who?
hacer?
Who's going
¿Quién
to
va a
do it?
sacar a tu familia adelante? ¿Quién va
Who is
a
going to
meter a tu
take
familia de
your
lleno a la nueva
family
economía del mundo?
in the
¿Quién
new
lo va a hacer?
economy in the world? Who's going to
Ahora,
support your
si no
family
es
if not
hoy,
you?
si no
Now,
es
if it's
ahora el
not
momento en el que
today,
tomas la
if it's
decisión de
not
hacer esto a
now the
nivel
moment that
profesional,
you take the
entonces
decision to do this
¿cuándo?
professionally, then when?
Yo les pregunto,
I'm
en 2 o 3
asking you.
años alguien te va
In
a
2 or 3
preguntar, hey,
years,
¿cómo vas
somebody's
con el
going to say
proyecto
to you,
ese? Y
hey, how's it
entonces
going with that
ustedes,
project? And in two
entonces
or
ustedes
three
van a tener
years,
la vida
many of you
económicamente
are going to
resuelta.
have
Y muchos de ustedes
financially
que me
your
están
life solved.
escuchando no
And
van
many
a
of
tener
you
la
who
vida
are listening
económicamente
are
resuelta
not going
porque
to have
hoy
your life
es el momento
financially
de
solved
tomar
because today,
decisiones.
which
Y
is the moment of
sencillamente
taking
estás aquí,
decisions,
pero
you
estás
were simply
solamente
here, but
participando.
you were only
No te estás
participating. You
comprometiendo.
were not being committed.
Entendamos este ejemplo
Let's
claro.
understand this
Mucha
clear
gente se
example.
involucra, muy poca
Many
gente se
people are
compromete.
involved, but
La
many
gente que
little
se
people are
involucra está
committed.
de paso.
People who are
La queremos
involved
mucho, nos
are
cae
here
muy
for a
bien,
while.
genera mucho
We love
volumen en el
them.
negocio,
We like them.
pero
They
la
generate a
persona
lot of
que está
volume in the
involucrada
business.
está de
But the
paso.
one who is
Va a ayudar a
only
las demás
involved
personas
is
y
for a
después se va
while.
a ir a seguir su
They're going to
vida.
help 2 or 3
Pero
people
los que
and then they will
verdaderamente
continue
estamos
with their lives. But the ones who are
emocionados y
truly
enamorados y la
excited
posibilidad
and in love
de
with the
llevar luz,
possibility
esperanza y
of
oportunidad a todos los
bringing
rincones del
light,
mundo,
hope, and
hemos
opportunity to
tomado esto
each
con
corner
toda
of
la
the world,
seriedad.
have
Para
taken this
mí,
with all the
soy
seriousness in
yo.
the world.
Soy yo
For
la
me,
persona que
that's me.
quiere sacar
I
a su
am the
familia
person
adelante.
who
Soy
wants
yo la
to
persona que quiere
support
dejar
his
este
family.
mundo
I am the
un
person
poquito
who
mejor de
wants
como lo
to
encontré.
leave this
Soy yo
world a
la
little
persona
bit
que
better
quiere
than how I found it.
liderar un
I
movimiento
am
que
the
lleve
person
luz,
who wants
esperanza y
to lead a
oportunidad a todos los
movement that
rincones del
brings
mundo
light,
porque yo
hope, and
siempre
opportunity to
necesité
all the
ayuda.
corners of the world
Yo
because
necesité que
I
alguien me
always
ayudara,
needed
que alguien me
help.
diera una
I
oportunidad,
always
que
needed
alguien
someone to
me diera
help me, to
esperanza,
give me
que alguien me ayudara
opportunity,
a pensar
to give me
diferente. Yo
hope,
siempre lo
to help me
necesité
think
y lo
differently.
tuve hasta
I
los
always
32
needed it,
años. Y
and I
las
didn't find it
personas,
until I was 32.
y siempre
Imagine
pregunto
that.
y digo que, y si
And
no es
I
con
always
amor,
ask and say,
entonces
if
¿cómo?
it's not with love, then how?
Queridos amigos,
My
pongan
dear
atención.
friends, pay attention to this.
No necesitas más clientes
You
para
don't need
crecer.
more
Eso es, o
customers to
sea,
grow.
realmente no sé, o sea, claro,
Of
siempre
course,
necesitamos más clientes,
we
no,
always
o
need
sea,
more
no lo tomes
customers.
literal.
Don't take it
Pero a lo
literally.
que voy es
But
que con los
what I
clientes
want
que
to get
tienes el
to
día de
is
hoy,
that with the customers that
lo que
you have
necesitas
today,
hacer es ir
what
más
you need to do
profundo
is
con todos
go in
aquellos que ya
more in
confiaron
depth
en
with
ti.
all the
Te voy a
ones
explicar por
who
qué.
already trusted
Porque
you.
cada
Let me
persona que hoy
explain
está
why.
usando esta
Because
tecnología
each person
no
who
es
is using
únicamente
this
un cliente,
technology today
es
is not
una
only a
vida en
customer,
proceso de
it is a
transformación,
life in
entendámoslo de esa
process
manera.
of
Todos los
transformation.
clientes de
Let's
cada
understand it
persona que
like that.
están consumiendo un
Every
producto
customer,
contigo
every
no
person
es
who is
únicamente un
consuming
cliente
the
a
product
secas,
with you
es un
is not just a
ser humano,
client.
es una vida
They
en
are a
proceso
human
de
being, a
transformación.
life in
Y si
process
tú
of
solamente te
transformation.
quedas en lo
And if
básico
you
y no
only
lo estás
stay with the
cuidando, lo
basics,
estás
you're not taking
limitando.
care of it.
Lo básico
You're
es para
limiting it.
cachar,
The
para que vea que
basic is to
funciona,
start,
para que se enamore de lo
to
que
see that it
hacemos.
works,
Queridos
to fall
amigos,
in
el
love with what we
verdadero
do.
liderazgo
My dear
no
friends,
es
the
vender
true
más,
leadership is
es
not
decir,
selling
si
more.
esto ya te
It's
funcionó,
saying, if
pues
this
ahora te
already
voy a
worked,
ayudar a
now
llegar al
I'm going to
siguiente
help you
nivel. Y
to
el
reach the
siguiente
next
nivel
level.
puede
And
tener
the next level
un montón de implicaciones.
can
El
have
siguiente
a
nivel
lot
no
of
es nada más el
implications. The
siguiente
next level
paquete.
is
El
not just the
siguiente
next
nivel
pack,
de
the
salud,
next
el
level
siguiente
of
nivel de
health, the
mentalidad,
next
el
level
siguiente
of
nivel de
mindset,
postura,
the
el
next
siguiente
level of
nivel
position, the
del
next
cuerpo que
level
siempre has soñado
of
tener,
body
el
that you always
siguiente
dreamt
nivel para el
having, the
papá que tú
next
eres,
level
el
for the
siguiente
father
nivel
that
para la
you are, the
mamá que
next
tú
level
eres.
for the mother
Ese
that
es el
you are.
verdadero liderazgo.
That
Si
is
esto
the
ya
true
viste que esto
leadership.
funciona,
If you already
ahora
saw
yo me
that
lo
this
permites,
works,
yo quiero
if you
ayudarte a
allow me
llegar al
now, I
siguiente
want to
nivel
help you to
en
get
lo
to
que
the
tú quieras
next
llegar.
level,
económicamente
wherever you want
hablando,
to get
en
to.
salud, en el cuerpo, en
Talking
la
about
mentalidad,
finances,
en tus
health,
metas, en tu
body,
propósito de vida. Quiero
goals,
ayudarte a llegar
life
al siguiente
purpose.
nivel.
I want you
Porque
to
cuando
reach
tú
the next
elevas los
level.
resultados,
Because when you elevate
escucha,
your
cuando
results,
tú
listen to
elevas los
this.
resultados,
When you
automáticamente llegan
elevate
los
the
ingresos.
results,
Cuando
you
creas testimonios,
automatically
y aquí
increase
tenemos
your income.
testimonios todos
When you
los días,
create testimonials, and we
entonces
have
duplicación.
testimonials here every
Y
day,
cuando
you
dejas de
duplicate.
vender, comienzas
And
a
when you stop
liderar, comienzas
selling,
a
you
guiar a
start
una
leading,
comunidad.
you start
El
guiding a
negocio deja de
community.
ser
The
difícil,
business stops
queridos
being
amigos,
difficult, my
y se
friends.
vuelve sencillamente inevitable.
and it becomes simply inevitable, like it did with me. I was not going to build a business in this company. I was very busy doing other things when it arrived to my life, but this became inevitable. There is no way I can talk about this to everyone else since it changed my life so much. So, my dear friends, don't leave here thinking who you are going to sell to. Leave thinking about how many lives we can do a more in-depth impact on. That's what we have to think about every day. Who am I going to help today? How many people can I help in a more complete, in a more professional way? Because when you do that, my dear friends, money comes. When you stop thinking about what you're going to earn and you start thinking about what you're going to give, about the value that you are transferring, about the hope that you are giving, about the opportunity that you are giving, then money arrives as a natural consequence of what you're doing every day. And if you're a normal human being, if you're a human being with feelings, you're going to be absolutely amazed and happy of having a technology that allows you to help others, to heal others, to recover others, for them to sleep, to recover their health, to stop medications, to rejuvenate, to look how they've always wanted to look, to have extra income. This is truly a dream. It's amazing to be the ones that have this opportunity for the world. Just like in the Olympics, you have the Olympic torch going all over the world, bringing the light of the excitement, the games, hope, humanity, equality, fraternity. That's what we are. We are like that torch of the Olympic Games, bringing light, hope, and opportunity to all the corners of the world. The most important thing that this does with you is that it helps you become the leader that your family needs, that your friends need, that the society needs. So, my dearest friends, it is time to begin preparing a list in segments. If this made sense to you, segment your market and prepare a list of all the dentists that you know, of all the pedicurists that you know, of all the people who spend time with their customers. When we spend time with others, it's inevitable to get to know about everything. And when you know about everything, you shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't be in distress. You shouldn't even shake on what are they going to think about me. You know what they're going to think about you? They are going to be grateful with their soul. They are going to be grateful for the rest of their life. You were a doctor, but you helped me with my mom's problem. You are a dentist, and I only came for my dental cleaning, but thanks to you, today I can sleep. Wow, because you gave me a technology which allowed me to sleep. Hey, I'm only a chiropractor, or I'm only a woman that gives massages. Well, now I have a technology that I can give you therapy with during 12 straight hours for $3 a day. Wow. I am a therapist. Okay, perfect. The therapy that I would go to on Monday to Saturday, my cheapest one costed $35, and my most expensive one $120 for 1 hour of therapy. Now, today, you who is listening to me in any part of the world, you can give a 12-hour therapy. It is a low intensity light 12-hour therapy. And so maybe you're the person who works in the reception of a spa, and people go to spas to relax because they have muscle problems, joint issues, and they want to be seen. But apart from working in the spa, I also have an online store where I sell patented technology that can solve many problems. I become a person who understands that I can increase my average ticket. If I'm a OBGYN, I'm an OBGYN, okay? Oh, I can only be an OBGYN then. That's all. No.
pero
You're
también
an
puedes ayudar con
OBGYN, but
problemas
you can
de
also
presión
help
basal,
with
también puedes ayudar con
problems
problemas de
with blood
azúcar en la
pressure.
sangre,
You
también
can
puedes
help
ayudar
with
a las
problems
mujeres.
with blood
Si eres
sugar. You
ginecólogo,
can
ves a
help
muchas
women.
mujeres
If
en
you're an
menopausia.
OBGYN, you
Bueno,
see a
pues
lot of
aquí
women in
es una
menopause. Well,
herramienta con
now
la que
you have a
puedes
tool
ayudar a
with
que las
which
mujeres
you can help
mejoren
women to improve
el problema de menopausia.
the problem with their menopause.
¿Hace sentido lo que estoy diciendo?
Does this make
Tenemos que
sense,
abrir
what I'm
estas
saying? We
conversaciones.
have to
Aquí
start
está
these
Margarita, la que está
conversations. Here
dirigiendo
we have
esto.
Margarita,
Margarita es
who we're talking
estilista,
about.
pero yo
She's
les
a
puedo asegurar
stylist, but
que
I can
Margarita
assure
ha
you
escuchado
that
todos
Margarita
los
has
problemas
heard
de todas sus
all the
clientas
problems
a lo
of
largo de toda
all
su
their
vida.
customers during her
Y
whole
así
life.
como ella,
And
todos los
just like
estilistas,
she
todos los
has all the
estéticas,
stylists,
todos los
all the
terapeutas.
dentists,
Y
all the
hay gente que
therapists,
dice, no, no, no,
and
yo nomás
there
soy
are people who say,
abogado.
no, 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 I'm
Y los
just an
abogados
attorney.
solamente somos
And
abogados.
attorneys are
Hay
just
muchos
attorneys.
abogados que no les hace
Many
falta el dinero,
attorneys don't
pero hay
need the
otros
money,
abogados
but
que
other
batallan con el
attorneys
dinero.
do have
Pero si eres
financial
abogado,
difficulties.
todo el
If
tiempo
you're an
estás
attorney, you
interactuando con
are
personas.
always interacting with people
¿Por
constantly.
qué no ofrecerles?
Why not
¿Por qué no
offer them?
ampliar
Why
tu
not
gama de servicios? Pues esto es
broadening
como que tuvieras un local pequeño,
your
pero
services? This
de
is as if
repente,
you have a
o sea,
small
quiero que ustedes lo vean de
store.
esta manera.
I want you to
Imagínate
see
que
it
tú eres,
this way, okay?
vámonos al ejemplo de que seas un
Imagine
estilista
that, for
o un
example, a
dentista
stylist or
y
a
tú tienes tu
dentist,
local en una
and
plaza
you have
comercial.
your store on
Imagínate,
commercial in
imagínate
a
que tenías tu
commercial area,
local,
okay? Let's do this mental
que
exercise.
de repente
Imagine
te cayó un inversionista
that suddenly
y
an
te dijo,
investor
oye,
came and said,
pues aquí tengo este
"Hey,
modelo de
I
franquicia,
have this
podemos
model of
poner
franchising.
10
We
10 o 15
could
negocios más en
put
este
10
centro
or
comercial y
15
yo te
more
apoyo con el
businesses
dinero.
in
Y
this
tú que eres
mall, and
estilista
I'll
o tú
help
que
you with
eres
the money."
dentista y que
And you,
normalmente
who is a
escuchas los
dentist or
problemas
who
más
is a
comunes de las
stylist and
personas
who
que son
normally hears the
insomnio,
problems that most people
estrés,
have, which is
inflamación,
insomnia,
bajar de
stress,
peso, etcétera,
inflammation,
etcétera,
losing weight,
etcétera.
etc., etc.,
¿Qué
etc.
pasaría si tú dijeras, bueno,
What would
yo tengo el
happen
dinero
if
del
you said,
inversionista
okay, I have
y
the money
puedo
from the
poner en este
investor,
mismo centro
and
comercial
in
donde
this
yo
same
estoy
mall where
15
I
negocios
am,
más,
I
un
can open
negocio
15 more
para
businesses, one
las personas con
for
insomnio,
people
un
with
negocio para
insomnia,
las personas con
one for
menopausia,
people
un
with
negocio para las
menopause,
personas con
one for
fibromialgia,
people
un
with
negocio para las
fibromyalgia,
personas
one for
con ansiedad, un
people
negocio
with
para las personas
anxiety, a business
con
for
problemas de azúcar
people
en la
with
sangre, un
blood sugar
negocio para las
problems, a
personas
business
con
for
dolores en la
people
columna,
with
un,
spine
un negocio para
pain,
las personas con
a
dolores en las
business for
rodillas.
people
Vas a
with knee
poner
pain. You're
15
going
15
to
negocios más,
open
15
15
locales
businesses
en el mismo
in
centro
the
comercial.
same mall.
¿Eso te haría sentido?
Would that make sense?
A una persona con mentalidad tradicional
For
esto
a
no le haría
person
mucho
with a
sentido.
traditional
Porque
mindset, that
diría,
would make a
wow,
lot of sense
si yo tenía
because
nada más mi
he would say,
negocito
wow, I only
chiquitito en el
had a
centro
small
comercial y ahora
business
voy
here
a
in the mall.
15
Now
negocios
I'm going to have 15
que
businesses
resuelven los problemas
that
que
is
yo más
are going to
escucho.
solve the problems that I
Una
mostly hear
clínica para
about.
bajar de peso.
A clinic to lose
Una
weight,
clínica para bajar
a
de peso.
clinic for weight loss.
Ustedes pregúntenle a Margarita si no le gustaría tener enfrente
Ask Margarita if she wouldn't
de
like
su
to
salón de
have in
belleza
front of her beauty
una
parlor
clínica para especialista
a
en bajar de
clinic
peso.
which is specialized in
Todas sus
losing weight.
clientas saldrían de
All
bajar
her
de peso y se irían a
customers
la
would
clínica a bajar de peso.
finish cutting their hair and
Todas.
go to that clinic
Bueno,
to lose weight,
pues en
all of
este nuevo
them.
negocio,
So
que es
in
el más
this
inteligente del
business
mundo,
model, which is the
no
most
tienes que abrir
intelligent
un
one
local,
in the world,
no
you
tienes que
don't need to
invertir en eso,
open a
no tienes
store.
que gastar
You
ese
don't need
dinero.
to invest in
En
that. You
este
don't need to
negocio,
spend that money. In this business,
todo lo tienes digital.
everything is digital.
En tu tienda online,
In
en la que
your
puedes
online
hacer
store,
todo lo que yo les acabo
where
de
you
decir
can do everything that I
en
just
todo el
said
planeta.
in the whole planet.
Entonces, ¿qué es lo que
So,
tienen que llevarse de esta
what is it that
presentación?
you need to bring from this
Tienen que poder
presentation?
tener conversaciones
You need to be
con
able
sus
to have
dentistas, con sus
conversations with
terapeutas,
your
con sus
dentist,
masajistas,
with your
con sus
therapist, with your
acupunturistas, con
massagist,
sus
with your
quiroprácticos,
acupuncturist,
para decirles,
with your
hey, ¿por
chiropractors
qué
to
no
say,
aumentas
hey,
tu ticket promedio?
why don't you
Tú ya
increase
tienes
your
muchos
average
políticos que
ticket?
atiendes todos
You
los días
already have a lot of people that you
y
see
ya
every
te
day,
cuentan todos sus
and
problemas.
they tell
Y
you
si
about
tú
all the
conoces
problems.
y si tú
And if
por,
you
por,
know
por la
about, if
naturaleza de tu
you, because
negocio,
of the nature of your
tienes la
business,
data.
have the
Escuchen
data.
esto, nuestro
Listen to
negocio es de
this.
data.
Our
Acuérdense esto,
business
métaselo a
has
la
to do
cabeza.
with data.
Por
Put
eso
this
es que yo
into your
siempre le digo
head.
a la gente hacer
Remember
preguntas.
this. That's why I
Si tú
always
haces
ask people to
preguntas,
ask
tienes la
questions.
data. Y si
If you
tienes
ask
la
questions, you
data,
have that data.
puedes
And if
ir
you
a
have that
resolver
data,
el problema
you can
directo a la
solve the
raíz.
problem directly from the root.
Un sinfín de profesiones tienen mucha
There's
data que
so
al
many
día de hoy
professions
se
that
ha
have a
ido,
lot of
durante los
data
últimos
that
años se ha ido a la
currently
basura.
have gone to the trash.
Esa
And during
data
the last
vale
years have
millones de
gone to the
dólares para
trash.
Facebook,
That
para
data
Instagram,
costs
para
millions of
TikTok
dollars for
y para las
Facebook, for
compañías para
Instagram,
ser
from
con esa data.
TikTok, and the
Mi
companies
intención
that
más
know
grande
what to
para
do with
todos
that
ustedes,
data.
a
My
partir de
greatest
ahí, que
desire for all
entiendan
of you
que
is for
nosotros
you to
estamos en la
understand
obligación de
starting today
coleccionar
that
data
we are in the
para
business of
poderla
data
transformar
collecting
en
to be
soluciones.
able to
Si
transform it
nosotros
into
obtenemos la
solutions.
data,
If we
podemos
obtain
ofrecer
that
soluciones.
data,
Y de esa
we
manera
can
podremos
offer
incrementar
solutions,
nuestro
and
ticket
that
medio.
way we can
Y por
increment our
último,
average
como se los
ticket.
dije en la
And
presentación,
last but not least, like I said in the presentation,
un verdadero una gran manera de aumentar tu ticket promedio es
A
tener
an amazing
frente a
way of
alguien y
increasing
darles
your average
servicio
ticket
médico a las
is
personas que
to
son
be
clientes que
close and
pagan
to do
bien.
follow up with your
Tus clientes están
customers, the
felices
people who are happy.
solamente con el
They
Equipo
are your
Diamante
customers and they are happy only
y,
with
y si ahora lo
X39.
combinas con
Wow,
este,
what about if
y si
you
ahora lo
combine it
combinas
with
con
this
este
now?
otro,
And what if
y
you
si ahora
combine it
lo
with
combinas
that
con
now?
este
And what if
otro,
you
y
combine
si
it with
ahora
this
lo
other
combinas
one
con el
now?
otro tres,
And what if you combine it with
¿qué
two or
pasaría
three?
si te
And
conviertes en
what would
alguien
happen
que
if you
se
become
dedica a contar su
somebody who
testimonio y no busca
dedicates
generar ingresos?
themselves to talk about their
La
testimonial
gran
and
mayoría de las
generate
personas que
income?
están aquí, si no es que
Most of the
todos,
people
tuvieron
who are
resultados
here, if not
y
everyone,
muchos de
has had
ellos hay un
results. And
empujoncito
many
para
just need a
convertirse
little
en
push
distribuidor.
to
Un
become
empujoncito
distributors,
para
a
querer salir a
push
contarle al mundo
to
cómo
want
es
to
esto.
go out there to tell the
Queridos
world
amigos,
that
yo
this
soy Juan Carlos
exists.
Garduño, les
My dear
agradezco
friends, I'm
muchísimo su
Juan Carlos
tiempo.
Garduño.
Espero
I
mucho que les haya
appreciate your
gustado. Que Dios
time.
los
I hope you
bendiga. Les
liked it.
recuerdo que
God
esto que estamos
bless
viviendo
you.
en la
I want to
humanidad
remind you
es
that
la
this that
tormenta
we're
perfecta
living
para
in
la mayoría de
humanity
nosotros.
is the perfect storm
Todo el
for
mundo
somebody
está
like us.
enfermo, todo el
Everyone
mundo
is
está
sick.
deprimido,
Everyone
todo el
is
mundo
depressed.
tiene uno, dos, tres,
Everyone
cuatro,
has
cinco
one, two, three,
familiares
four, five
problemáticos
family
y
members
sobre
with
todo,
issues,
todo el
and
mundo
especially
necesita empezar a generar
everyone
dinero
has
online.
a
Y
need to
nosotros
start
podemos
generating
ayudar
online money.
de la mano
And
con la cuenta
we
grande a las
can
personas a que
take
empiecen
people
a
by the
generar
hand
dinero
so we can
online
start
en
generating
esta nueva
money
economía que
online in
viene
this
para
new gig
eliminarnos
economy of
acceso.
the world that nobody
Nadie
prepared
nos
us for.
preparó para esto.
Nobody had prepared us
Estémonos
for
listos.
this. I'm giving
Nos
you
tenemos que adaptar.
news. We have to
Nos
adapt.
tenemos que adaptar a gran
We have to
velocidad. Y les tengo
adapt
otra
at a
noticia.
great
En
speed.
un
And
año nos
another
vamos a
news
tener
for
que
you. In
adaptar a
one
gran
year, we'll
velocidad.
have to
En
adapt
seis
to whatever
meses
comes new.
está todo
In
tan
6 months,
rápido que nos tenemos que
everything is
adaptar
so
y
fast that
adaptar
we
y
have to
adaptar
adapt
y
and
adaptar y
adapt and
adaptar.
adapt and adapt.
Tenemos que vivir
We need to
en un
live
modo
in a
adaptación.
way that we're constantly adapting.
Conce- Concíbete a ti mismo como un ser
Conceive yourself as a
que se
being
adapta todos los días a los
who
cambios.
adapts every day to changes.
Concíbete a ti mismo como un
Conceive
ser que se
yourself as a
adapta
being
todos los
who
días
is
a los cambios.
adapted to changes
Porque
every
lo que
day.
hemos visto hasta ahora es
Because
nada
what we've
en
seen
comparación
until
con lo que
now
vamos a
is
ver en los
nothing
próximos meses y
compared to
años.
what we're going to see in the next
Entonces,
years
no lo
and
sufras,
months. So
adáptate,
don't suffer,
súbete al barco, abre la
adapt,
mente, aléjate de
get
las
on this
personas
boat,
negativas y
open your
acércate a personas
mind, get
que te
away from
ayudan a llevar tu
negativity,
mente
and get
a donde
close
tú
to
quieres ir.
people who help you bring your
Bendiciones
mind
a
to where
todos,
you
que
want
pasen
it
una
to be.
extraordinaria
Blessings to
tarde.
all. Have an
Espero que sea algo
extraordinary
mejor a lo que
evening
vamos
for
a
all the
tener.
English and
Queridos
Spanish
empleados, a las
speakers.
personas que
God
nos
bless you
apoyan,
all. For the
muchas gracias.
interpreters, thank you
Evelyn,
very much.
Lola,
Evelyn,
Wellness
Lola,
Revolution,
Wellness
U90X,
Revolution,
emprendedores del
U90X,
mundo. Gracias por lo
entrepreneurs
que
of the
haces.
world, thank you for
Gracias
what
por
you
lo
do.
que haces todos los
Thank
días
you
por
for what you
nosotros.
do
Mientras
every
el mundo
day
entero
because
está
as the whole
bombardeado
world
de
is
estupideces y
bombing and
violencia,
doing stupid
nosotros
things,
somos la
we
sociedad
are the
civil
society, the
organizada,
civil
bilingüe,
organized society
llevando luz,
of the world,
esperanza y
bringing light,
oportunidad
hope, and
a todos los
opportunity
rincones del
to
mundo.
all the corners of the world.
Que Dios me los bendiga.
God bless you all.